Howdy everyone, welcome to HexHunter. Today we're going to start off with another episode of Hexonomics. Today we're going to be talking about gold, the faucets, sinks, as well as the flows that happen within Hex in and of itself. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. If you like what you see today, go ahead and hit the follow button or the like and subscribe button here on YouTube. We'll have links down to some tools down in the doobly-doo below for being able to start tracking some of the stuff on your own, and so you can start coming up with your own numbers and start making your own decisions. But today we're going to talk about something super important, and it is actually gold and Hex. So from the onset, you have two currencies in Hex, platinum and gold. Platinum, as it sounds, is the pay-for currency. You get this currency by either purchasing through Steam or Gameforge, and that currency hits your account. You use it to buy booster packs directly from the store, buy things from the auction house, or to enter tournaments with. A lot of platinum is really important for tournaments. But today's focus is going to be on gold, because gold is really, really important in Hex, even though it seems a little counterintuitive at first when you start getting into the tool. Because gold is an incomplete process in Hex right now. We need more and more of the features to come into the game for gold to make a little bit more sense once you first get started, and that's why we're here talking today. Because we want to talk about how gold comes into the economy, the gold faucet, how it leaves the economy, the gold sink, and we want to talk about how the gold moves between both of these states. So first, let's go ahead and explore where gold comes from. So the primary place that a lot of new players will be getting gold is here in the campaign. Let's jump on in. So after you get your characters and you run through, you'll find that a lot of gold comes in from whenever you're playing your characters. You jump into your wonderful characters, and if you have to, you may need to fix periodic decks to go through. Let's go ahead and back out there and jump into one I know is good. So once you get into the campaign here, you would jump around hitting to all of your different nodes, go try to grind different types of packs and dungeons, and every one of these encounters that you go through and every quest that you complete allows you to earn a small bit of gold, anywhere from 100 to 200 gold at a time, and sometimes several hundred gold for quests. And it's a great way that once you run through and explore all of the wonderful areas of of Adventure Zone 1, you can wind up with quite a few gold. But one thing to note, it's not the most efficient way to get gold in the campaign. Generally what's found to be the most efficient way utilizing the campaign is to take a brand new character, and with your brand new character you start off right here at the beginning of everything. And with this brand new character, what you can do is notice that the game has crashed. Well, we'll let that get fixed here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and fix that. Let's get that back up. Ain't that crazy? It crashing right here at the very beginning. Alrighty. Now, the most efficient way to get gold currently in the campaign as it exists is to start off with a new character. And as our new character loads up, if this crashes again, that's going to be super terrible. So with our new character, we see that we only have a small segment of the area initially explored. Now, the reason that this tends to be so efficient is that when you start up at these initial nodes, you end up getting a lot of AZ1 packs and a lot of initial gold to start you off, all the way towards completing until you get over here to the very first dungeon. And you end up getting 2 to 3k gold, sometimes even upwards towards 5k gold, plus all of the goodies that come from the AZ1 packs. A lot of these cards, especially if you pull an early legendary or rare, sell pretty decently on the auction house for gold. And as soon as you pick up the packs themselves, or you jump over here to the auction house, you can generate quite a bit of gold as people are looking to complete their PvE playsets. And those are the primary sources of gold, but there is one final source for gold, and it's actually here at the Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate is typically what is considered a gold sink, but if you're super lucky, you end up getting the correct spin. Every time that you receive a gold icon, you end up getting a certain amount of gold. 500 for one, 500 for one, 2,500 for two, and 5K for three. It's a very small introduction of gold into the economy, but considering how many people roll chests, it does give a little bit back for as much as Kismet likes to take. And since we're here at the Wheel of Fate, let's also take a look at our primary gold sink. A ton of gold falls into the Wheel of Fate. And the reason is because the Wheel of Fate has awesome prizes. So some of the awesome prizes we have are mercenaries, various PvE cards and equipment that are related specifically to the types of chests that you roll, sleeves, alternate art cards, upgrades to the chests to take them from lowly little common chests all the way up to uncommon chests, even up to these legendary. And if you get super lucky, you can also upgrade them to primal chests, which have some of the best extras in the game. We'll go ahead and let's go ahead and roll a single Primal Dawn chest. So you drag the chest over, and you see you have this option to spin. And if you have enough gold, you can spin the chest, and we get this slot machine type of effect. And today we actually win something. So we ended up winning a Whirling Brutalizer. So we see that this one right here is actually our alternate art form of the Whirling Brutalizer. Very fun. In addition to that, we also got another spin, but it's a paid spin. So this means that if we want to, we can spin this chest again and see what else we can get. Now, as you can imagine, if it takes about an hour to earn 5K gold, it takes, you can see how well the effect of that ends up soaking in. But sometimes you get lucky. We happen to get 2 gold icons this time. So we got 2,500 gold as well as an uncommon Stardust. But you see now we've lost the ability to spin, and the only thing left is to open the chest. A lot of folks put a lot of gold into the Wheel of Fate to get all the really nifty extras from it. And though most of the time you may get equipment, these chests are filled with really awesome things too. And you get access to greater items the higher up that you end up going for those rarities of chests. And the reason it takes so much gold is because those higher rarities take a lot more gold. 30,000 gold for a chance to spin this legendary chest. It's going to take quite a bit before we're ready to spin that. So that's the primary gold sink. Let's go ahead and take a look at a secondary gold faucet. Now, one of the goals that you have as a new player in Hex, and even as a long-term player in Hex, is sometimes you've maximized what you need out of the PvE, but you need another way to get a larger amount of gold into your account. So to get that additional amount of gold into your account, the next place you'd want to go to is the Frostring Arena. Now, this is a great place for gold. It is a linear type of dungeon where you face off against opponents, and you have up to 3 defeats before you are kicked out of the arena. And every time that you defeat one of these opponents, and including the bosses, you're getting a sack of gold, which is anywhere from like 100 to 200 gold depending on your tier level. And then you're also getting gold and items for defeating each of these bosses. And you can take these items that you get from the Frostring Arena, put them on the auction house, get some additional gold. It's another great gold faucet into the game. And as you get later on in progressing through your collection, after you've established a really nifty PvE deck, you can bring that deck utilizing the legendary PvP champions. And with those champions, grind up some additional gold. The difference between restarting a character versus arena grinding is a little different. It depends on how adept you are at either one. There are arguments for running through the PvE to grind the most gold because of the AZ1 packs that you end up getting. But if you have a really fast, straightforward deck that can win in, within the first 4 to 7 turns most of the time, the arena is a great place to also get gold. So there's one of the biggest things that is often mentioned related to gold and hex is something called the gold exchange rate. You'll see this often highlighted on support sites like Hex Price. You'll see people talk about it in chat. What this is the ratio of how much platinum it takes to get to gold. And this is very important when you're dealing with the flow of platinum. A lot of folks utilize that concept of the exchange rate to begin their pricing thoughts for PvP cards for gold, because in our auction house we can get quite a few PvP cards for gold, which is great for new players. Let's go ahead and take a look at a quick set of gold transactions, and let's go ahead and take a look at them in some uncommon cards. So we have air superiority right here. So ideally we would look at an air superiority and we would want to, let's go ahead and do some minimum bids here too. We would look at these cards and go, how much would we really expect to pay for some of these uncommons, right? Well, uncommons end up listing for at minimum 10 platinum. So you would think the lowest amount of platinum or lowest amount of gold that you would get would be whatever 10 times the 1 platinum to gold rate is. If it's 120, okay, you would expect 1200 to be the price of some of the uncommons. Well, gold does not have that restriction on how low that price can go, because you can price anything in gold. Sometimes as low as 1 gold, sometimes as high as 1,000,000 gold. So the concept here is it flows up and down, and you get a very true price for a lot of the PvP cards in gold. So we see for here, Death's Liturgy, an uncommon. If you had to buy it in platinum, it's going to cost you 10 platinum. What do we have it listed here? It's 1,000 gold. Someone's like, oh, if it's 1 platinum to 100 gold, oh, that kind of makes sense. And they can list it for that. So listing your extra PvP cards is a great way to bring gold into your account and allow free-to-play players who have a plethora of gold but not much in the way of platinum the ability to get those cards. And that's part of where the flow comes in. Paying players fill up their collections. They get the play set of what they need, any extras to trade around for their friends, and then when they realize that they want all those really cool goodies in the chests, well, they have to get the gold somehow. Oftentimes, it takes a lot of work to be in that PvP sphere. They don't put a ton of time into the PvE beyond a few playthroughs, but they'll go ahead and use the auction house. All that gold goes, they're going to try to get that gold for their chests. All the cards flow down to the free-to-play players. All the gold from the free-to-play players goes up to your PvP players. So we have tons and tons of options. Go ahead and check out our first Hexonomics video about how the auction house works so you can maximize your time. When you're looking for great deals on the auction house, go ahead. Your primary focus is going to be checking out the card specifically that you want and seeing if you can maximize the time left on there, because many times you'll be able to get really great values for your gold. So sometimes you'll find things listed under 100 gold, people just trying to clear out their accounts, see what they're going to be able to get for it. You can find a lot of great deals for gold. And one last thing we're going to cover before we move on to our Q&A for today is we're going to talk about what it means to get packs for gold in Hex. So everything can be sold for either platinum or gold. Packs are very much included on that. And one of the things we want to go look at is we want to go ahead and look at our new Primal Dawn packs. And we'll go ahead and check these out for gold. So a good, fast, and dirty way to get what the current exchange rate is for gold is to take a look and see what the 4 types of booster packs are selling for on gold. So this is as simple as you take and you write down what the lowest buyout price number is. And if you want to double check this, you can always use one of the tools like Hex Price to see what data has come up for those. You want to see about what the lowest one is, what people are paying for. And they're paying quite a gold premium price. What it would seem is like if it was 1 to 100 on the ratio, right? This is our first indication that the ratio might not be what our initial assumptions are. And you just check it out for each of them. We'll check out Armies of Myth. We see Armies of Myth is also there pretty high. We have 12 pages, a lot of people competing with each other on these. and they say it's 25,000 for those. I question this number, why people would be wanting more Armies of Myth packs than Primal Dawn packs for gold, but let's go ahead and check out some of the others. Oh, we see that there is an awful lot of gold for these. Now, we check it out for each of the packs, and we'll check it out here for Shards of Fate here. The next number we need for each of these is we also happen to need the platinum number. How much platinum are people willing to buy these secondhand packs for? And with each of these numbers, you end up getting a ratio. If you want to know how much gold per platinum, so we'll say 169 for Shattered Destiny. It's time to pull up our handy dandy calculator. And you can use multiple methods to do this. I like to use the quick and easy method. So if our Shattered Destiny packs happen to be 27,000 gold on the low end, and they happen to be 169 platinum presently, that's saying that the ratio should be about 159 gold to one piece of platinum, probably close to 160. And let's see if this bears out on some of the others. If we take a look at Armies of Myth, use our same search, we see that the buyout for Armies of Myth is 178. So we take 25,000 divided by 178. We find that that is actually 140 gold to 1 platinum. And we go ahead and check out our Primal Dawn. Do our search. We find that Primal Dawn packs are selling for about 179. So we take our 23K, 23,300 more specifically, and divide it by that fresh price of 179. And we find that it is 130. So what we're seeing here is that if packs are generally used for the basis for the prime, or for the platinum to gold ratio, or the gold to platinum ratio in this case, then we have to ask ourselves the question, which is the most effective for being able to transfer platinum in that way? And this gives us our first clues to what that exchange rate is. The best exchange rate you're going to get is either getting these booster packs from platinum here and then trying to sell them for gold. That's one way to be able to raise some gold. Another way is to directly jump in here in the chat, run over here into trade chat, and seeing if you can entice anyone to actually trade whatever value of platinum you have for gold, and negotiating it that way. A lot of folks will then revert to hex price, but hex price is pulling that value off the aggregate of the auction house data, a good chunk of which is based on the exchange rate between the packs for platinum and for gold. So that's one of the reasons that we wanted to take a look at that, because if it's the basis for where you're wanting to base your to put your exchange rate on, it's a quick, easy thing to kind of understand where that flow is. And as you check that over time, you can do a lot of great things with that, and understanding the flow of how gold is working for PvP assets as for PvE assets, you will be able to do a lot of great and fantastic things in the auction house. Now, I know that this is a very esoteric subject today, and thank you for coming to the end of this first part of Hexonomics today. If you have any questions, we'll be taking those in a moment. If you're catching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We have links down below to the primary resource tools we'll be using. We're still working on all of our charts and graphs, which we will be taking a look at things like platinum to gold ratio, what it means when you calculate in multiple ways, and that stuff is going to be coming in the future. And now we're going to move on to our Q&A from for what we have in the chat. But until next time, I'm Mokog, this is HexHunter. Keep being awesome. Let's do some Q&A.